Let's talk about the massive news this morning. Justin Jefferson signs a massive $110 million guaranteed deal with the Minnesota Vikings. We all kind of assumed this was going to take place when they decided to move on from Kirk Cousins. Well, they got to pay Justin Jefferson. There isn't enough money to go around. How long did this take? How'd they get to this number? And obviously everybody's jacked up about this in Minnesota.
You know what's amazing about this, Pat, is the day before the season last year, the Saturday, at about 5 o'clock Eastern, I remember getting a call that the deal was about to get done, wrote up the story, was waiting for Justin to accept the deal. It was going to pay him $28 million per year. And then he decided, to the surprise of the Vikings, not to take the deal right on the eve of the season and to bet on himself and play it out. I think they thought he was taking it. I thought he was taking it. He was really the only one who decided not to do this and to go play the full season and forego the $28 million per year average that he would have gotten at about 5 o'clock Eastern the day before the season opened last year. And so he didn't take that deal. They were talking throughout the course of this offseason, and obviously it had been a process that had been ongoing, I really think, since free agency. And there had been various starts and stops to this deal to the point where other teams thought, well, maybe we could jump in and try to pry loose Justin Jefferson. Let's call the Vikings and make a big offer. And there were teams that reached out to the Vikings only to have the Vikings tell them in no uncertain terms, no, there's no chance. We're dealing the best wide receiver in the National Football League. Never entertained the idea, never let those talks advance beyond the initial call that team placed to them. And obviously, they were getting close to finalizing the deal late last week, finalized it over the weekend. And now the agreement is official, and he becomes the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history, resets the wide receiver market. Big deal for Justin Jefferson. He is the best wide receiver in the league, and he's being paid like it now.
And he seemingly, we knew this was coming since day one he entered the NFL. An absolute stud, literally from the beginning of his NFL career. There was some chatter from Mike Florio and the Pioneer Press that potentially on draft night, they were thinking about trading him to get a pick higher, to give Malik Neighbors. I think what you're saying, what a lot of people are saying, is that was never going to come to fruition. They're building their team pretty much around Justin Jefferson. Is that kind of the way you're being told the story?
Pat, I can tell you there were teams that called in and said, any interest in trading Justin Jefferson? And the team was told no. So if those are trade talks, then those are trade talks. But those are, as far as those conversations went, where another team reached out to see if there was any way that they could entice the Vikings to trade Justin Jefferson. And the Vikings never even considered it. So it never went anywhere, those talks at all. Justin Jefferson was staying in Minnesota. And the fact that the deal gets done today only cements that.
Okay, let's talk quickly, because I know you're in the middle of a golf round here at Bulls Bridge. Kent, how are we playing? We hitting the ball well?
The course record is safe today, Pat.
Damn. Thought you were going to get it. Thought you were going to get it. Justin Jefferson gets a record-breaking deal. You break a record on Bulls Bridge up there in Connecticut. Tyreek Hill now, all eyes are on. They got to his deal still to try to figure out. But every deal that happens in the wide receiver market obviously bumps Tyreek Hill down. And he's the guy that was on pace to potentially have 2,000 yards receiving last year. What does this mean for Tyreek Hill, Drew Rosenhaus, the Miami Dolphins going forward?
Well, I think that the Dolphins are going to figure out a way to adjust Tyreek Hill's deal. Now, I don't know if they're going to tear up the deal and give him a whole new deal, but I think that deal will get adjusted and that Tyreek Hill will wind up getting additional benefits, concessions, salaries, money from the Dolphins to bring him further in line to the receiver that he is. I think that the Dolphins know that that's coming. They obviously took care of Jalen Waddle, knowing that they'll also have to take care of Tyreek Hill. You remember the Philadelphia Eagles in the span of a week getting done both Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, knowing that Justin Jefferson was coming on this deal, and basically that deal gets done. And I think that the Eagles got 2 receiver deals done, and now the Dolphins know that they're in a position that they'll be able to get 2 receiver deals done with Tyreek Hill next.
That's sweet. Let's stay in the wide receiver market. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, what about CeeDee Lamb, Schefty? Obviously, when you put his stats up to Justin Jefferson's, they're pretty similar, but then they also have Micah Parsons and Dak. What does this deal mean for him?
You know, Jerry Jones made a reference earlier this offseason to the fact that the Cowboys wanted to get a deal done with CeeDee Lamb, but CeeDee Lamb was in no rush to get that deal done. And the reason that CeeDee Lamb wasn't in any rush to get a deal done was because of the deal today. Well, the deal today is now done. And if you look at their numbers side by side, yes, CeeDee Lamb played more games due to Justin Jefferson's injuries, but the numbers are comparable. Do I think CeeDee Lamb is as good as Justin Jefferson? No. Do I think he's going to get that contract? No. But how far south of Justin Jefferson is CeeDee Lamb going to get? And I think that's why he was waiting for this deal to come in. $35 million a year average, $110 million in guarantees. I think all of us could sit here today and debate what we think the value of CeeDee Lamb should and would be. And again, I think we'd all agree it would be south of Justin Jefferson, but how much south? And that's the question. And that's now left up to CeeDee Lamb and the Dallas Cowboys to go figure out.
Con Man's got a question for you, Schefty.
Yeah, Schefty, are we approaching a time where receivers might get a Mahomes-like deal? Like, is there a chance that because these contracts are so massive and there's only, most of them have been 3 to 4 years, that there might come a time where a 10-year, $300 million, whatever you want to call it, deal might get made for wide receivers so that these teams don't just get absolutely slaughtered in the cap?
Well, I just think the money on these wide receivers is going up and up and up. And if you are a receiver like a Marvin Harrison Jr. or Malik Neighbors, and you see what's going on, I can't tell you how dedicated I would be to making sure that I maximized my potential and got everything I could out of my abilities, because the money is all there. And I think the money question as it pertains to other positions is more along the lines of look at what a wide receiver is now being paid compared to what a running back is being paid. Wide receiver salaries have doubled running back salaries, showing you where the emphasis of the game is today. I don't believe that a wide receiver is going to catch a quarterback. A top wide receiver catches a top quarterback anytime soon, because quarterbacks always have been the highest paid players. They will continue to be the highest paid players. But where I think the difference really is right now is look at what the top wide receivers are being paid and look at what the top running backs are being paid. And the top wide receivers are now doubling the top running backs.
It's wild. And, some people are calling for a potential future, bust of the wide receiver market, like Warren Buffett had today in the stock market. I don't know if you've seen what's happening. Down 99%. Warren Buffett, I believe it's a glitch. It has to be a glitch.
Can't report it has been fixed.
Okay. Hey, congrats, Warren Buffett.
Whoa, scary times.
That happened this morning. But they're saying the wide receiver market potentially does that with how good the young wide receivers are. So Justin Jefferson getting this deal, obviously well-deserved, well-earned. But who knows what the next couple of years say with how great these young wide receivers are, because how many of them can get that? There has to be some sort of leveling out at some point. Last question here from D-Butts for you, Schefty.
We need the corners to kind of close that gap, in my opinion. But speaking of the guaranteed, obviously we saw 110 guaranteed. What's the actual breakdown of what's fully guaranteed versus injury, or do you have that information yet?
Well, first of all, you have 110 on 150. You know it's huge. I know that there was 88 due at signing. So 88 million due at signing. I mean, I don't know whether that's signing bonus or whether they're counting the salary this year. I don't have the full breakdown, but somewhere between 88 and 110. 110 is the guarantee. 88 due today or whenever he signs. So Ziggy and Mark Wolf are cutting a big check to Justin Jefferson. Here's the bottom line. If Justin Jefferson's smart about all this, the children of his children's children are set up for life here today. And that's the most important part. He worked for it. He earned it. He deserves it. And we're happy for Justin Jefferson.
Who negotiated WME? I think he said Ben in his video. Is that what he said?
Ben Renzen is his agent, yes.
Hey, way to go, Ben.
Good work, Benny.
Way to get it done, Justin and Ben. Way to go. Hey, we appreciate you. Good luck the rest of the way. What hole are we on?
We are on the 9th hole here right now, and we'll see how this goes.
9th hole at 9. All right, we appreciate the hell out of you. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Schefter.
Hey.